Greetings, everybody! Welcome to Taco Tuesday. Well, actually, that's Loki's show, but hey, it is Taco Tuesday. Some of you are talking about tacos in the chat, and yeah, I like tacos. I like tacos. I like steak. I like food. I'm a big fan of food. I think everybody is. But we have a lot of you in the audience today. We've got a Tuesday tirade later. We have bonus time right after the 6-minute daily, so don't go anywhere. The show will continue when we get to the end. Normally when I say see ya, I won't be saying see ya. I'll say it later, but not after the 6 minutes. We're going to have bonus time there. It's probably the better way to say it. Let's say hi to each and every one of you. A lot of you got here early. I appreciate that. We got Pat S. in the house, who was first. What's going on, Pat? Hope you're doing well. We got Captain Fandom Nerd, also very early. Hope you're doing well, my friend. The Red Ranger says, my mother told me to get in touch with my feminine side, so I crashed the car. Vince Womack, how's it going, my friend? Greetings and salutations indeed. There's Robert Thieves. I hope you're doing well, friend. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Good to see you here. Josiah Robinson is in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Lots of live streams today. Indeed, our good buddy, the master of mods, the mensch of wrenches, Eric K. says, the weather outside is frightful. I'll be amazed if I don't lose power. It doesn't rhyme, dude. Can't sing it. We've got, Morgan King in the house and an amazing wrench. And Darren Hughes saying, Happy Pi Day. Indeed, it is 314. 3.14. That's right. Happy Pi Day. That's right. Well done. We've got the Union of Amateur Strategists here. Check them out. We've got the Liger Fan. What's up, Liger Fan? Snortopupus Cuber is here, my favorite bear. Of course, Scott Cook is joining us as well. Simple morning. Yes, perhaps it's not good for you, but hopefully this makes it better. Just another red shirt. Hail, Mr. Shirt. Hope you're doing well, sir. We've got a super sticker from our good friend Darius Munchausen. It's a $4 super sticker, which is a cup of coffee, which I'm woefully behind on, let me tell you. Shrap 3D is in the house. He says, sup. We've got our friend the Bat Cap here as well. Buenos dias, indeed. Dragon Master 360 joins us today, as does D. Bud Martin. Hope you're doing well, bud. Hey, Tien Falarudo is working on video number 2. If you haven't seen video number 1, check out Hey, Tien Falarudo's channel. Dave G. Sound is here. What's going on there, Dave? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Anybody else looking forward to tacos? Yes, this is the chat is happening with the taco thing. You guys are making me hungry, and I just had breakfast. DS Ford is here. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We've got the Cheese Factor. And, of course, Gunner. What's up, Gunner? And Eric Cason's a $2 super chat saying, we are getting bonus time today. Nice. See, you're trying to get me to say that. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Tender Warrior 68 joined us, as does Mutant Bam Hammer. Bama Hammer. Bama Hammer. What's going on? Who else is rolling in the door? Randall Orser is here. A nearsighted Cyclops is here. Good to see you. Notifications. You got Thursday stream. Yeah, I published Thursday stream. That's kind of weird, right? Strange. There's Vampire. Spaceship Vampire. What's going on? Dun, 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 dun. Steven is here. Hi, deleted scenes. Hello. And of course, Brahma Bull. What's going on? Thunderheart is also joining us today. That went on a long time. Sorry about that. Blackie is here. Good to see you. Guten Morgen, Herr Thunderduck. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's see. We've got TPC. What's going on? JT Gunn. Great to see you, man. Been a minute. Larry, a name so nice. You say it twice. Larry. And of course, Sander Hammerschlag. SP4H is joining us. Great to see you. Oh, shoot. We have to go. Sean E. Step. BLT. Final Monkey. I know Matt G's hiding out there somewhere. I just want to say, Matt G. Dempsey's here. What's up? Zax! All right, 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whatever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We've got a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in 15 stories in all, plus bonus time right after the credits. Let's start here. RIP to one of my favorite old men at Disney. Raleigh Crump passed away. He was the animator who helped make Disneyland look like Disneyland in California. He was one of the primary talents there. He was honored as a Disney legend many years ago. He passes away at the age of 93. There are a handful of these people that actually know what they're talking about, what they're doing, and I think the last one amongst us, maybe, and I could be wrong, would be Bob Gurr. Maybe there's someone else still alive that I can't recall. But you see Disneyland and most of what you've seen in the older attractions from dating back to the 50s, that's a lot of this guy's vision. He worked very closely with Malt, and they were systematically destroying his work in the last few years. Again, anti-West, anti-family, Bob Iger led Disney. Moving on from there, you've got Meta cutting another 10,000 jobs, instituting a hiring freeze, and this was predictable. And it looks like it's quite possible the metaverse was a vaporware. I'm just saying. Moving on from there, Keanu Reeves received a hero's welcome, a wonderful response to his film, and it seems a marriage proposal at South by Southwest. I hope everybody's being safe down there. It is Austin, and Austin is a little bonkers in the state of Texas. Moving on from there, Marvel wants details about who posted the Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania dialogue. There's a substantial portion of the script that was published. They're trying to go after somebody. Well, if Reddit sticks to its guns and actually protects their members, then that'll be hard to do. I don't think that's going to happen, especially now as they're bringing in more of the compromised humans from Twitter that are more than willing to continue to compromise Reddit, which is already a compromised platform. So I guess it doesn't matter. From there, we'll talk a little bit about the 95th Oscars ratings rebounding slightly to 18.7 million. Well, those are upwardly revised. Those may not be entirely accurate, but they're close enough. And they're essentially about half of what Jimmy Kimmel got the last time he hosted in 2017. So what does that tell you? Half of the people have checked out of the Oscars since 2017. That's what that tells you. Yeah. Moving on, we've got New Year's Oscar inclusion, next year's Oscar inclusion rules are already sparking debate. Yeah, because they're kind of illegal. There are questions that they want you to know to put on your information sheet about your film's production that you can't ask. For example, you can't ask somebody if they're gay. It's illegal. Bad. WGA and AMPTP have exchanged their proposals ahead of next week's negotiations, which we know are going to be a disaster, almost said a bad word, and probably going to result in a strike regardless. A lot of people out there that work in the industry will tell you that, including some folks that are in the chat right now. The government races to reassure the U.S. banking system and safe. No, they marched out the guy that supposedly the leader of this country in the executive position anyway, and he promptly gave a statement reading off the teleprompter and walked off. That was all the reassurance you're going to get. It's kind of like Jim Cramer reassurance. Speaking of which, a class action lawsuit's been filed against SVB parent company, SVB Securities, and you're going to see a lot of action here going forward. You have, of course, the realization that SVB's demise is going to disrupt the disruptors in tech. Yes, and it's going to create situations where maybe they'll focus more on business. We'll see. But we do have Asian shares yesterday sinking, obviously, because of the banking jitters here in the United States. But that's not stopping everybody from saying, but inflation's down. Well, it's still incredibly high, but it's down. No, Look, we all know that's crap. We all know that effective inflation is 10% higher always than what they're telling you. Moving on from there, stocks did get a dead cat bounce. At least that's my estimation. Again, not a stock professional, nor would I tell you how to invest your money. But this reeks of a dead cat bounce and will likely end up with more declines either later today or tomorrow. This is one of the worst weeks they've had in a while. You've got California being just as anti-business as possible with that Prop 22 that passed. Well, that went to court for the second time, and they essentially, Uber and Lyft are allowed to operate as gig economy players, but they're keeping in place a lot of other anti-business stuff as well. And finally, apparently in Germany, you are going to be allowed to go swimming topless in public swimming pools, male or female. This won't lead to any problems at all, right? We can't foresee an issue with this. I know the Europeans are more evolved than the West. No, it's more permissive. But at the same time, I already know what's going to happen here. I think you probably do too. And by the way, as I'm out of time, I'm also out of stories, at least for this part of the show. So we have bonus time coming up after this. Other than that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.
Well, yeah, there we go. All right. So this is still processing. Someday I'll be caught up on the memberships. Thanks to Eric K and a few others out there who are very generous. This list continues to grow. But thank you all. The memberships are really a stable part of an income for a channel, which is great. Thank you for that. Super chats are always appreciated, especially ones that move the conversation along and are a query. But again, just being here in general, being a subscriber to my channel really warms my heart and does help overall, especially when you watch the videos. And hopefully Grant will get the video edited that I intended to be out yesterday, and it'll be up. And then I've got a couple of other ones that I want to get released this week. So there's more content coming as usual. But I can't say it enough times, folks. You are absolutely the best. Don't go anywhere. Bonus time is coming up right now. There we go. All right. Woo! That was fun. Yeah. Raleigh Crump was a true Disney legend, indeed. What a sad story, right? Just a guy, 93 years old, outlived most of his peers, lived long enough to watch them destroy his creation. Kind of sad. Yeah, original old men group of Disney parks, R.I.P. That's right. Man, I was heartbroken. That was rough news to get yesterday, right? Hey, Zaj Melodies here. What's going on? Got TZ Burton here. Zuckerberg is a cyborg. Look, we knew this was coming, right? This isn't. Tell me that you didn't know this was coming. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while. Tech has to take it on the chin. They're way overextended. This guy has been just ridiculous from beginning to end. His political garbage is probably one of the things that put him in this position, to be fair. Maybe his comeuppance is worth it. I don't know. But it's taking a lot of other people's jobs with it. It's preventing a lot of other employment opportunities in the future. It is what it is. But Zuckerberg, he's probably a cyborg. Probably true. Anybody else here? Here we go. My company works for, my brother works for a company. Wow. I can't read today. I'm turning into comics division. I apologize. My brother works for a company that builds the data centers for Meta. They're firing people and replacing them with AI. Well, there you go. And it's very bad AI at that. Very, very bad AI at that. And that's the problem with AI. When you build these language models and you build bias into the language models, you have a very, very difficult time. It's kind of a bummer. Let's see who else is out there. Austin is escape from New York penal colony. Well, there you go. Yeah. Fluster Cluck. That's right. Sorry, scrolling through all the early comments, but Disney's really showing its true colors. It's hard to show a lot of love for them right now. Mexican Iron Man is showing a lot of love to me at the moment, apparently. Let me get to that. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man, for the $10 super chat. Look at this. This handsome man in the sombrero says the California Uber case win is a win for business and a loss for unions. They sought to win the case against Proposition 22, which allowed for treat. Now, to a certain extent, you are correct, but a lot of the provisions in Prop 2 were left in place. Originally, under the lower court, this thing got completely tossed out as unconstitutional. With this latest ruling, most of these other factors, other than this stuff specific to Lyft and Uber, was left in play. In addition, they still can have unions. They are allowed to be independent contractors. Once again, that part of the gig economy is preserved. But if you read the AP article, which I can bring up, hang on a moment. It actually outlines that. So, and again, you're right, Mike. It's but at the same time, a lot of that stuff was left in place, which is frustrating. But I do appreciate the $9.99 super chat, my friend. I know you're incredibly busy right now. But oops, I just shared it and then I closed it. I am a professional YouTuber. Not as much of a professional YouTuber as Mexican Iron Man is, but I'm getting better. Someday I'll be up on his level. Here it is. So yeah, California court rules for Uber, Lyft, and ride hailing case. The ruling mostly upholds the voter-approved law called Proposition 22 that said drivers for companies like Uber and Lyft are independent contractors and they are not entitled to benefits, yada, yada, yada. The lower court ruling in 2021 had said the Prop 22 was illegal, but Monday's ruling reversed that decision. So, yeah. But you're still going to end up with those players being able to align themselves with labor unions. Again, here it is. It wasn't a complete defeat for labor unions, as the court ruled the companies could not stop their drivers from joining a union or and collectively bargain for better working conditions. So all of that's still in place. So, like I said, it's a win for the Uber. It's the win for the Uber and the lifties, the Lyft drivers. But at the same time, it still keeps largely a lot of the anti-business stuff in place. So, which is kind of a bummer. I hate for I would hate for somebody to be forced into certain things. So it's kind of a split, probably is the best way to describe it. But it is Prop 22 was and is unconstitutional. So it was not. It was only a small win for people. They took away the big win, which was the original ruling, which was unconstitutionality. But they still get to keep a lot of anti-business stuff in place, which I hate. California is very anti-business. They have been for a while. And when you have investors not going into California and New York because they're anti-business, that tells you a lot. That Kevin O'Leary guy, just destroyed New York recently. But back to this, back real quickly to the Zuckerberg thing, another California company. Another California company, Meta cutting another 10,000 jobs and instituting hiring freeze is a real thing, and they're not even they're actually closing out 5,000 open roles. They need to improve organizational efficiency, dramatically increase developer productivity and tooling, optimize distributed work, garbage collect unnecessary processes, and more. That's kind of a lot of all the same thing. you didn't have to add all those other descriptors, because basically the first part, improve organizational efficiency, is covered by everything else that is said afterwards. I mean, it's like, or is covered by, it covers everything that's said later. Dramatically increases developer productivity and tooling, optimize distributed work, garbage collect unnecessary processes, and more, is all covered under improve organizational efficiency. It's really funny. Meta announced it was axing 11,000 staff, about 13% of the entire company. The new round takes the total cuts to 21 or 26,000. That is a lot of people. And that's the other thing. Most people don't see that way, and they really should. These are people. People are losing their jobs because of poor leadership. Of course, there are obviously make work jobs in a lot of companies. We saw that in Twitter, where you can remove the majority of the humans there and nothing really changed. They obviously need to rebuild in some talent areas so that there's more stability, but most of the people they got rid of probably didn't contribute much to that stability to begin with, especially when, they start their day with a meal, go to a little team building exercise game thing, then go on the roof for a lunch. It's just, and have wine after their their 45-minute meeting, and then, have wine, with their friends, and then head home. So pretty crazy. But he said, after announcing all the cuts, he said, I've tried to be open about all the work that's underway. And while I know many of you are energized by this, I also recognize that the idea of upcoming org changes creates uncertainty and stress. My hope is to make these org changes as soon as possible in the year so that we can get past this period of uncertainty and focus on the critical work ahead. So their restructuring plans are about focusing on flattening their organizations, canceling lower priority projects, and reducing hiring rates. Well, if you have 5,000 open positions, there you go. Losing massages isn't a loss. That's true. Yep, this is a very libertarian capitalist move indeed. Hey, what's up, Mike? Good to see you, bud. CAC 44 is here. KRNet 82 is here. Yeah, it was Corpo speak, indeed. I for as much as I don't really like this guy or what he's done to Facebook, he's one of those guys that tried to take something and continue to make it relevant and grow bigger rather than stagnating and dying on the vine. But again, because of, political maneuvering, I think he actually hampered his company. I don't know. Could be wrong. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people are like, let's talk about gaming. I don't know what to talk about. I mean, Microsoft / Xbox acquired another cloud gaming service today. I didn't really cover that because there's not a lot of news behind that. They're constantly trying to back that up. I saw this news yesterday. I almost made a video about it, but a lot of other channels beat me promptly to it. So I'll talk about it now. And we talked about it during the 6-minute show, but we've seen some massive changes over at Reddit go quietly unnoticed, including yesterday's move to put one of the compromised human beings in as a corporate partner person at Reddit from Twitter. Now, this corporate partner person has been artificially pushed from the bottom to the top rather rapidly, and was only in that high executive level position at Twitter for just a few months before they walked away. But now that there's been this, pursuit of the script leaker, I don't know how else to describe it. Is that right? Yeah. You have Marvel wanting details about who posted the stuff about their film. Look, posting the stuff about the film wasn't the problem. What the problem was that they didn't want their garbage film made known in advance, and they're probably going to do the same kind of thing. They're really going to lock it down for the Marvels because that thing is going to be hot garbage. I think the only thing that will be somewhat good might be Guardians of the Galaxy, but believe it or not, my faith is waning. So Disney's Marvel's trying to track down the identity of a person or people who allegedly released a 63-page transcript of the dialogue 1 month before the film's theatrical premiere. A request filed Monday, which is March 10th, on behalf of Marvel and federal district court in California, asked the court to issue a subpoena to compel Reddit to identify the person or group responsible for sharing the dialogue. All right. Marvel requested all identifying information for the user u/MSS mods, as well as that of any other user responsible for posting, yada, 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 yada. And they were filing it under the DMCA, which let me tell you, a lot of corps are misusing right now. You watched it in real time as people just reporting on the leaks about The Last of Us 2 were getting struck for no legal reason. And, once you start to see abuse of that, like anything else, all of these systems that all these laws are, and when people allow for the abuse of them, that's a real problem. And one of the reasons that a lot of places like streaming platforms similar to the one that you're seeing me on now, whether it's on YouTube or Odysee or possibly Rumble here in the next few days, they get these kinds of requests all the time, but some of them are not legal requests. This might not be a legal request. I don't see how, unless they actually publish the script per se, this could end up being a DMCA. But again, I'm not an attorney. I'd have to ask Rakita Law or Legal Mindset or one of those folks. The folks at Reddit said this: Reddit is committed to protecting our users' privacy. We have a rigorous process in place to assess legal requests and object when appropriate. So, Ant-Man and Wasp has been one of the worst reviewed Marvel movies to date. The film grossed $980 million domestically through its fourth week of release, outpacing the original Ant-Man 180. Do you know what the difference is financially between those two numbers right now? Ant-Man 180 is for the original Ant-Man far more financially viable than the 198 from this year's film. And it's trailing behind the 216 million here domestically, but these are just domestic numbers. If you look at the global numbers, it's even worse. But let's do this. The 2018 film Ant-Man and Wasp, which was a terrible film, by the way. That film made the equivalent in today's dollars of over $700 million globally. The film just released will be lucky if, and again, the numbers I'm referring to for 2018 are adjusted for inflation. This film will not make $500 million in the box office globally. And if it does, it'll do it barely. It's going to lose $100 million. Let's just be honest. So, the dialogue from the movie that was leaked online was edited or displayed in Portuguese. So, there you go. Well, there are no comments. Strange. Anyway, let's see what you guys think. Hey, Cynthia, good to see you. That's right. Next time it'll be on 4chan. Yeah, why use Reddit anymore, honestly? I really didn't like WoW Panda all that much either, or any of that. I'd like to talk about stuff that you enjoy. What are you playing? I'm still playing Hogwarts Legacy, but I'm getting ready and really psyched for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. That new game is coming out here soon, like in 3 or 4 weeks. Very excited for that. Talk about a win for Nintendo, right? We talked a little bit yesterday about it in the 6 Minute Daily, but think about this. They just opened Mario Land, the Super Mario World, whatever. They opened that in the Universal California theme parks. They're going to open up a little bigger version, not really, but basically another one of those in Florida, along with the entire Epic universe. It's a giant theme park edition there. So Nintendo is going to obviously bounce there. They have a new video game that's on the horizon. And just before that, on I think the 5th of April, we get Super Mario Brothers film, which I can almost guarantee will exceed $1 billion because it's a 4-quadrant film. So I'm pretty excited about that, to be sure. Tax Shark is here. Good to see you, bud. Let's see. What's up, Low Spec? Good to see you. Yeah, the budgets in those films were drastically different as well. The 2018 film, if I'm not mistaken, was about what 100 and somewhere between 120 and 160 million. It wasn't as much as the current film. The current film was a huge budget with very little return. Yep, inflation is harsh. When you adjust for inflation, these things sucks. Yeah, DMCA was always open to abuse. Total Biscuit covered this, and now old video he did on. Yeah, it's been abused for a long period of time. Culture Casino, the Mermaid movie will be in the toilet. Yes. Yeah, and that's very funny, by the way. Thunderdex is 130 million. Thank you for that. Yeah. And it's a very weird thing. Disney has lost over 50% of their audience, and they don't know why. And I'm saying that because since Endgame, absent obviously Spider-Man No Way Home, they haven't had a real winner. They haven't had a real winner. If this is a desperation move on Disney's part, well, I mean, all you're going to do is shut up the one person who leaked, whatever material they got. My guess, if it was in Portuguese, was probably from an effects house. They were probably given a lot of stuff that they had to do in special effects, and they just posted the garbage online. That'd be my thought anyway. Yeah, things are headed up for Nintendo. That's right, Albert. Indeed. Yeah, and that's, I guess, Mike, that's the thing. Mike Beats Dix says physical tickets sold. Yeah, they, like I said, they halved their audience, if not more. I did a video about this not that long ago about the financial situations right now, things that are adjusted for inflation and all of that. Even my favorite film of 2022, which was Top Gun Maverick. My second favorite was RRR, by the way. Top Gun Maverick, still for what it earned, still had to sell far fewer tickets than Titanic to get to the number that it got to. Far fewer, like half as many. In fact, a little less than half as many to get to the same kind of a number as Titanic. That's what most people don't realize. So, inflation has gone up so much and the audience has been turned off so much. Same thing with Avatar. The reason that Avatar did so well is because of the huge difference in ticket prices between then and now. Not as many people went to see the movie, but it made way more money up front for a reason. Again, ticket prices have gone up substantially between then and now. Inflation has gone up tremendously then and now. So there are fewer butts and seats. It's a conversation that needs to be had. This is a long 6-minute daily. Yeah, today's bonus time, TZ Bird. Yeah, this is a little bit of a little longer podcast style conversation. Hey, Philip Gaming, good to see you. It's a conundrum. That's right. Yeah, big words. A lot of people are excited about Mario. You're gonna check out Mario World this weekend. All right, the Bad Capitalists, know what you think. I love me some Nintendo. I really do. Mike says Endgame was a jumping the shark moment. I agree with you. I agree with you. Hey Riggs, what's up? Riggs. Main criticism for the new Zelda, they're charging 70. Yeah. But if it's a good game like Breath of the Wild was extraordinary. I can't believe how much I enjoyed playing that game more than once. In fact, I'm going to go back and play it again before I pick up my new copy. Let's see. New metric for movie success, butts in seats. Well, I wish we could actually do that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think people like myself, Mexican Iron Man, Valiant Renegade, Andre at Midnight's Edge, Tom at Midnight's Edge, pretty much anybody who hangs out over at Midnight's Edge. I think, and especially Six is one of the people who's really pushed for, how many butts were in the seats. And the number is way lower than it used to be. If it weren't for a premium large format screen experience where they charge way more money for the tickets, a lot of these films would be more beyond diminishing returns. I mean, they'd be absolutely collapsing franchises. And it's funny because everything that we've been saying here, well, since I started a YouTube channel and even before that, we've been talking about the fact that these films are essentially falling apart because people are abandoning the message-laden storytelling. And the only reason that these things look good on paper is because of the upward tick. The ticket price in the last 5 years has the greatest percentage change in a very, very long time. I think the only other time, I think I pointed out in the video I did, that it rose this much percentage wise was way back in the 80s. So, yeah. Pilgrim Media sends a $2 super chat, says, are the powers that be trying to tank crypto? Well, it didn't work. I mean, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, Bitcoin went through the roof. The powers that be went after crypto banks. So if you're referring to that, yeah, I mean, obviously Silvergate was the one that they started with, which was primarily a crypto bank. I think, man, I wish I could get Mike in here. Mexican Iron Man would know this stuff. But the powers that be would like crypto to go away because they want to have just their crypto. And we have to resist government crypto at all costs, because it's something they can just turn off. They can just allow you not to spend your money if you don't comply with the latest social garbage-tasticness. And that's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. So I guess on both sides of this equation, that attempt didn't work. And crypto might become even more valuable because, if there are ways to exchange it, let's say our friend Elon decided to acquire a crypto bank, like let's say SVB, which was kind of a funny thing that was said in Twitter the other day. That kind of completes an end run for a process that he's been wanting to do for a while with his X platform, because he wants to turn Twitter into X, which is one of the reasons why you're seeing a rollout of different features like lengthier tweets, et cetera, et cetera. So, Mike, are you here, bud? Shoot me a DM if you want to pop in and talk about that for a sec. That would be great. I'm going to keep checking the DMs sporadically here. Let's see what you guys got. You guys are amazing. RRR. Everybody drink. That's right. I love you guys. Look at this. Drinks in the chat. What's weird is most people forget there was a deflationary period not that long ago in the United States, and that a very healthy managed inflation happened throughout the previous administration's period of time. They keep trying to say that administration caused the inflation. No, no, no. No, no, no. The only ramp up happened right after the other person took office. So I'm telling you right now, charts don't lie. So Mikey, I'm going to send him a link anyway. Oh, wow. I hit the wrong button. You ever get a bunch of DM requests from people you do not know? I think Mike is actually probably on his phone, but which means he probably isn't able to jump on here. If he doesn't come on here, I'm going to play that clip. There. That's what I'll do. Teliato is here. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Yeah, let's hit that like button, folks. Thank you, Captain Phantom Nerd. Let's get this over 100 likes today, folks. That would be wonderful. Eccles could confirm for Brie Larson. I like Nintendos. All the Nintendos. That's right. Oh, when Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers used to do that, I just would roll laughing. It's so funny. Endgame would have been better without the time travel junk. Time travel, lazy writing, in my opinion. Lazy writing. Time Prophet says, I think you would like the game faster than light. I will check it out. I appreciate that. Yeah, and Larry's right. Number of tickets sold is always a real measurement in theaters. What's up, Tiki of Doom? Says, and yet another movie theater experience just gets worse. Well, see, Disney just experienced what happens when you screw with your fan base when it comes to theme parks. They tried this thing called surge pricing. Obviously, Uber and Lyft did it as well, but they so that when their busier seasons came along, they charged more for their tickets, which they say is to control crowds. I say it's to gain more profit, which is really what it was a profit mechanism. And because really they didn't decrease the crowds at all. The capacity of the parks are the capacity of the parks. They've been running the parks because they've been able to artificially constrain them by having these park passes things, which really frustrated people because you used to be able to get a benefit called park hopping if you were let's say a pass holder or whatever. Well, essentially that was completely restricted. And then they took that restriction off, but it was only after, X o'clock, like 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Specifically in Florida, that's no fun. That's the worst time of day to travel from one place to another because it's usually hot as heck. And so they got a lot of, they're still dealing with a lot of backlash. They still have the park pass bologna sausage in place and everybody hates it. But it's because they're artificially running the parks below full capacity, like somewhere around 70%. They're running their rides below full capacity, which makes a 70% less occupancy, or excuse me, a 30% less occupancy still seem like a full occupancy, because if you're running your attractions below their ability, which they've been doing, and they have a lot of extended phase openings now, which is a way to open up different attractions in a park or rides in a park in like a staggered way, so that some are closed immediately in the morning and then open up slower. Pirates is usually something that's staggered, but that creates artificial demand. Again, Disney, because of the NGE, or the My Magic bologna sausage crap that they put in the theme parks, they have become masters of creating artificial demand by adding the idea of fast pass to an omni-mover attraction which constantly moves. You actually create artificial demand, so you create a line when there wouldn't be one, because the load and unload of large capacity rides like that are continually moving, always keep the line moving. It's not like a roller coaster where you can only service so many folks. So anyway, it is what it is. Wow, that was a long way to go on a ride. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. Mike Beat Stick says, Mexican Iron Man is the hero we need, not the one we deserve. Indeed. I love Mikey. He's a good friend. Aaron says, I live over an hour from the nearest movie theater. Honestly, there is not much coming from Hollywood that is worth the gas it takes to get there or what I would have to pay for tickets and snacks. Aaron, I hear you, my friend. I really do. I have an affinity for certain films. Obviously, Super Mario Brothers is one of them. John Wick is another one. So you will be getting a fresh out of the theater review that I'm going to actually record on my phone and probably be editing while I get on with Comics Division that Thursday. So double back again. Pay cash whenever possible. Well, have cash. The neat thing is, and this was a conversation that we had last night, and I'm not sure that, well, many of you would agree, but cash creates discipline because it's something tangible. When you're holding a $50 bill in your hand, it's a $50 bill, you know, and while it's not worth what it once was when you were a kid, it's still pretty decent amount of money. It could buy you dinner for a couple of people, right? So you look at that $50 bill. Well, when you go to the grocery store and you handing over cash, or if you go to the hardware store and you're handing over cash, you know what you're not doing? You're not buying that extra marker or that extra pencil. You're not grabbing that soda or whatever that you can just as well get at home that's, you know, overpriced at the store. You're not, you know, you didn't buy that, you know, that mirror that you saw that looks fancy that you really don't need because you have something tangible and you went there with a purpose. And so you're likely more to exchange just the purposeful items, the useful items. And it helps you resist becoming a blind consumer because now you're a tangible consumer. Those are important things. Tiki of Doom. Elon is not my friend. Well, I understand. Yeah, Culture Casino. Greta Thunberg deleted a 5-year-old tweet saying the world was going to end in 5 years. Well, she has to. All of those grifters, right? The Time Prophet, all of them, they constantly have to update their stuff. I've been dealing with this my entire lifetime. I have a list actually that I need to update of all of the times since the 60s that the world was going to end because of this, that, the other thing, you know, garbage, recycling, all that other stuff. Now that we know that, you know, a lot of garbage and things like that don't ever actually end up where they're supposed to. And they don't really recycle plastic as much as they would like you to believe. Consider this. During the global crisis, the recycling could have just been thrown in the trash for a lot of municipalities and was being thrown in the trash at a lot of municipalities because they could not offload it on the barges that they send to foreign countries to supposedly recycle the plastic. Interesting, huh? What's up, Jason? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, sports does attendance and tickets sold. Theaters should do the same. I agree with you. Yeah. Everybody's drinking because I said RRR. Now watch it happen again. Action com. Mikey, get down from that window and get over to the 6 Minute Daily. He's busy. I know he's working. It was unfair for me to call for him to jump on. I love that guy. The double speed caught up to you now. Cool. I can hear you in regular voice. Awesome. Jennifer Lawrence did invent Nintendo. This is true. FTL is a good game. All right. There's 2 of you telling me to do that. I will be checking it out. You guys are amazing. Sander Hammerslag says, if Disney wants to keep making Marvel movies to their standards, the budgets of those films should not exceed 50 to 75 million. Yes, that would be sound, but they can't afford to do that. Oftentimes that's beyond, I mean, consider this. They're paying 50 million to 70 million just in SFX budget alone. They are really incapable of making a good film without spending a lot of money. And to be fair, they spend a lot of money and they're making terrible films. Strange World, Buzz Lightyear, et cetera, et cetera. So, 12 Monkeys was a good movie. I don't care about Adam Warlock. If they would have introduced him when they teased him, it'd have been a whole different thing. I don't really like the look of Adam Warlock. I've been on record about that. And I'm hearing some bad things. Hello, it's Catsith. What's going on? What did Aaron say? What did Aaron say? Did I miss it? Can't find it. Albert says that create the FOMO and watch the sheep go nuts. Yeah, well, they haven't been able to do that anymore. You can't gin up the interest anymore. To be fair, Larry sends $2. There you go. There's tangible cash, of which I'll probably get $1.10. Anyway, I'm not complaining. By the way, I'm just saying, just the reality of YouTube. But Larry sends $2. Larry, name so nice. You say it twice. Larry is Keanu Reeves taking the Jack Sparrow role. I don't know about that. Have you heard that speculation, Larry? I have not heard that myself. I'll look into it. But I have to tell you, Keanu Reeves is just, first of all, he's almost ageless, although it's not true. He's slowing down. But he's somebody that a lot of people just enjoy watching. And he's a presence on the screen. He has a certain amount of built-in charisma. Gravitas is the word you could probably assign to him. And then, he picks very well. I mean, occasionally he'll pick a stinker, but for the most part, dude picks amazing. To be fair. Grumpy old Ninja Kintaro. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, my friend. And thank you for the preview of that wonderful thing. But I do appreciate this. Shiba Inu dog, fart hearts. It's one of my favorite little guys. Oh my goodness. We are amongst greatness, my friends. Our good friend and creator. Oh, wait. Yeah, there he is. Patrick Logan. Great to see you, my friend. $20 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Wow. Extraordinarily generous. And please check out the fan film he put together and directed. He did such a great job. Gordon is still something that I go back and watch. So, but you can find it over on Creative Force Films, and I'll try to remember to drop it into the description when we're done here. But Patrick Lowe for $20 says, much like the video game industry, do you think Hollywood is reaching critical mass for movie budgets being too bloated to make money? You are proof of that, my friend. Your short film, right, was done on a wonderful budget. There wasn't a lot of tricks required. Everything was done in frame, right? And absent some technology that you utilized that with an LED wall, but for the most part, that's why it's so enjoyable. So I believe that they're beyond that critical mass point. Maybe a lot of them haven't realized it, but if you've noticed, a lot of these successful films haven't cost all that much. And it look case in point is the animation. Animation is not cheap. But if you look at Puss in Boots: Wish, you look at the recent Minions film, you look at some of the upcoming projects we're getting out of, Skydance and things like that. Those budgets aren't anywhere near what Pixar and Disney animation studios have been spending. So yeah, I think that they're way too bloated to make money, especially now when, as another case in point we were talking about, is that you've halved your audience. There's fewer butts and seats. At a certain point, people just stop going to the movies. It's too expensive. And they're not getting an enjoyment out of it anymore because there's too much messaging in it. And that's not what the vehicle is. That you're destroying your so-called quote unquote platform with that. So yeah. Keep up the good work and consistent streaming, man. Well, thank you, Patrick. I do appreciate it. And I can't say enough great things about your film. I really enjoyed it. So if you've had a lot of criticism, my friend, you don't deserve it. It's wonderful. And say hi to your lovely bride. She's great. But Patrick's an example of something that I think Hollywood needs to be very afraid of. And I think they already are, but I think they should be even more so concerned because in Georgia, in Atlanta specifically, you have more talent than you do in Hollywood. You have newer facilities, you have easier access to locations, right? You have coastal locations, you have river locations, you have all that other stuff. You have far less expense when it comes to utilizing location shots and scenes and things like that. It's less expensive to put up a camp somewhere remotely, and do extended a couple 3 days worth of shooting. It's a little easier on your producers. You also have, of course, it's easier on location managers too, but you have so many different advantages there. But it's not the only state where that's true. Florida's starting to grow. Tennessee's starting to grow. Basically, the Southwest United States is starting to grow. Movie production's moving out of Hollywood, which will make things much less expensive. Because as I have been saying at the beginning of the stream in the 6 Minute Daily to start with, California's anti-business, and they have been for a long time. And again, investors will tell you, as I said before, for whatever it's worth, California, New York, they're too expensive to invest in. And it's overregulated, et cetera, et cetera. But Georgia offers amazing credits. In fact, I think you guys just recently updated your credits. You pay even more so than Hollywood does. And there are no diversity garbage that goes along with it. You have to comply with this diversity garbage. No, there's none of that. The only place you have to do that is in California. And let me tell you, winning an Oscar doesn't make you money. Anyway, regardless, thank you, Patrick. You're awesome, buddy. It's really easy to praise you, my friend. Larry's like, I hear things. All right, I'm gonna look into what you asked, Larry. I'll find out. Would it surprise me? No. Keanu Reeves is awesome. Jack Sparrow with a California accent, like Reeves. Nah, I don't think that would. Yeah, you're right. But Keanu can probably go to a dialect coach and pick up the kind of affectations that Depp does if he had to. I don't see him as Jack Sparrow though. I just don't. Yeah, he does have a very humble demeanor, and he's non-controversial. In fact, if anything, the first film, John Wick 1, mirrored the kind of tragedy that's occurred to him in his life. The love of his life died. Did you guys know that? It's a tragic story. I mean, it kind of makes me, a little emotional because, I couldn't imagine, losing someone that was that close to me. Of course, we all have to deal with tragedy, but that film mirrored his life in a lot of weird ways. Yeah, this is the other thing in Ram Bam 3000, in response to probably Patrick Logan there. Joker cost $55 million and took in $1 billion. Yeah. And, they doubled up on the promotion budget as they were getting closer to $1 billion. So they probably spent what? $160 million total all in with marketing and promotion. Although that thing at the end didn't need it anymore, but headed towards $1 billion. They really did kind of ramp up. I saw that thing making bucks, and the studio took it on the chin because they really didn't do a lot outside of distributing it, if I recall correctly. So, and this is true. Hollywood needs clever films that don't rely on CGI. Let me point out something that I love about the Gordon Pham film, because Patrick Logan is here. The majority of the film is shot in one space. It's shot in one space. You can do that forever. You can do that really well. You could have a handful of spaces throughout your project. You don't need locations and technology and all that other stuff. You can shoot it all in a train. Absent some of the things that were clearly were CGI and Bullet Train. Bullet Train's set mostly outside of a few, small location shots, probably only required 1 or 2 days of shooting each. It was on a train. It's really easy. Evil Ramen says, theater tickets are crazy expensive in LA. Yeah, they are everywhere. Yeah. No, Patrick, thank you, dude. Keep making stuff, man. Keep me in the loop, all right? Send me an email once in a while on what you're working on or what I can do to promote stuff, all right? Great. Yeah, criticism is wonderful. It does help you improve. This is true. Yes, Elemental is heart garbage. I know this for sure. And it's a shame. Like I said, I mean, this is the problem with who they put in charge of Pixar when they booted Lasseter out. And they didn't need to boot Lasseter out. Lasseter landed on his feet and kicked butt for good reason. You know? Lasseter moved on and he's about to destroy Disney. People moved on from Pixar and Walt Disney Animation, went to work over at Illumination, DreamWorks, et cetera, for Universal. There you go. But yeah, the film Elemental will be hot garbage. And they're just trying to play on that other thing. What was it? The one with the little anger guy, the emotion one. It's basically the same kind of a shtick. The message is strong in a knock at the cabin. One to avoid. I didn't even find any. I thought that the premise was good, but I wasn't going to see that. I wasn't the audience for it. And I like horror films. Low budget sometimes makes talent come to the fore. It always does, doesn't it, Larry? I mean, you know, you have great writing, you have great acting. You don't need a lot. I can make a single location, like a cabin in the woods, for example. I can make a single location work on a lot of projects. In fact, you know, the film I'm trying to put together is one location. It's a Western town, and I don't have a lot of money, so I can't rent it for as long as I would like to. So I have to be innovative about what I do when I do it. I mean, I've got to have my shot sheet put together in a way that I can utilize all parts of that day. I have to have generators ready. I have to have backup power ready. I have to have a lot of other stuff so that I can get that done in as few days as possible. Because I don't, again, have a lot of money for that project. So I got to get that done. It's got to, I'm going to try again. October's the best month for me to do it for a lot of reasons, including temperatures and things like that. So this October, it has to get done. Hey, thank you for the promotion there, Union of Amateur Strategists. Go and check this out when you get a chance. Don't leave now, but right click on that and place it in a different tab in a different window. Thanks for that. Hey, Jonah Hex, what's up? Do producers still conduct site selection or has that been farmed out? It depends. That's the best answer I have. Yak Nomino! You will remember this as the day you almost caught Ted Theodore Sparrow. Group hug for CC. Thank you, Devilback again. Yeah, I wasn't going to bring it up, but massive tragedy. Yeah, still feel bad for him every time. I think that's why that first film hit even harder with me. And then what they did to the dog. Oh. I still skip by that, by the way. Minions cost $95 million. Raya and the Last Dragon costs $100 million. Now Disney CGI costs $200 million. Wow. I say money laundering. I say wasteful spending. Again, it's this. It all stems from lazy. It really does. Money. If you have that kind of money, you can afford to be lazy. Yep. Creative Force Film is here on YouTube. Indeed. Yep. Hey, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm way behind in the chat. I apologize. CC could be the Witcher. I don't have that kind of body. I wish I did. I used to. And then I got old. I'm really old, guys. Start to get into your early 50s. You're like, creaky. But I can pull off a grumpy old sheriff's deputy or something, maybe. Yeah. Evil Dead cost $375,000. I know. Well, look at what Robert Rodriguez did and how much money El Mariachi made in comparison to the, like, I don't know, $9,000 or whatever it was that he spent on that first film. It made his bones. Everything he does he doesn't need a lot of money. Tarantino didn't need a lot of money early on. Yeah, just good stuff. Not only that, but video game companies keep firing QA people. Not good. I agree with you. You need good quality QA. You need people like me to say, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't look good. This isn't consistent. The gameplay is trash. I'm getting, weird frame drops, when I shouldn't, when it's not being taxed. You look at the crap that, Ubisoft is about to drop. Look at what just happened with Volition. Volition essentially created their own demise, rebooting Saints Row the way that they did, and then being antagonistic to fans. That game will never make money, and it will always be pointed to as a colossal failure for good reason. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 You know what? I can do, and again, I love, animals. I like pets. I love them. I would have like 8 dogs. In fact, when we realize our retirement home, I will have 8 dogs. It's just, there's no stopping me. But for whatever reason, an animal in a film gets injured or killed, it bothers me. And you can actually turn an audience against a film by doing that kind of thing. So, yeah. Evil Ramen. Bigger the organization, the more dumb stuff they waste money on, like Law of Nature. Oh, I know. We watched some of the cringe internal commercials from Signature Bank last night on Comics Division. If you go onto the Rumble side of the stream from last night, in fact, go to a Comics Division on Rumble, and me, I have a Rumble channel. But go over there and watch the last part of that stream, or I guess the beginning of that stream, or no, it's the last part of that stream. You can actually see those cringy commercials that were internally produced for Inside, and they're DIE all the way, and they show just a huge waste of money on crap that does not matter. Yeah. Robert Rodriguez had the subject himself to subject himself to scientific experiment to get the money for El Mariachi. Well, there you go. Yep. Forspoken by Square Enix is hot garbage. Talk about destroying a studio. We're literally watching them disassemble themselves. I mean, it's ridiculous. We're watching Disney do it and at an accelerated rate now, especially under the new, Uncle Bob Iger 2.0. He is doubling down across the board. The person they put in charge of HR is likely going to dive even deeper into the divisive garbage. So, yeah. Yeah, the first Mad Max film cost $350K to make. Cheap even for its time, yeah. Elizabeth is like, yeah, Saints Row looked like trash. And it was. I was like, Saints Row, yay, count me a no. Bugs, performance issues, unnecessary, and broken features. It's all, I've seen it all, and more often as time passes by. In the SNES days, it was finished game or it didn't ship, and you had to be that way. If a game went gold on a cartridge, you weren't updating it. And it was that game, always. Yeah, we need to get back to that. Us old guys could still pull off action roles. Culture Casino. Director, action. Script reads, hero gets out of chair quickly. Actor, stunt double. There you go. Well, I wonder how they did it with Harrison Ford. Can't wait to see the behind the scenes there. What's interesting is, to be fair, is the stunt people want no credit. They just want their credits at the end of the film, obviously, but they usually don't want a credit. They usually are owed a lot of credit. That's why people like Stunt Brat 777. She was in the industry for a long time. Yeah, lots of famous work. You wouldn't know it though. Thunderduck says the MCU is dying, and if Daredevil sucks and the normies hate it, it'll be over. Well, Daredevil doesn't look good. I know some people that have been involved there, so I'm going to say it. So there's a lot of bad in that, and a lot of people are going to dislike the recent characterizations of those characters. So if there will be, it will not in any way be comparable to the Netflix show. And I think you're right. The masses will, well, the people that love that will turn on Marvel. It's pretty easy to do. Disney's never been able to do that street level character well. They really don't. The one time they did, the film didn't do well, but they did the character well. It was one of my favorite films, and it was a long time ago, called Condor Man. There you go. 8 dogs makes traveling to meetups difficult. Nah. Have somebody come over to the property and take care of the dogs. I love dogs. Cats are fine too. I like horses. Big fan. Chickens, if you raise them properly, they're great. Thank you, Brahma. Yeah, about 2.5 hours into the stream yesterday. It was really good. Those were very cringe. I think Southern Belle brought those to us. She did a great job of that. What's up, Tim? Tim Tringle's here. The numbers being posted for movies are from the 80s and 90s. Don't forget. Indeed. Yeah. And again, those were decent chunks of change back then. But at the same time, they weren't the plus $2 million budgets you were seeing in that same time frame. And again, adjusted for inflation, those numbers are very impressive. But you're correct, Tim. You are correct. Yep, Uncle Bob the Weatherman. And Aunt Willow, also a weather person. People are going, what? Yeah, Willow Bay. It was the hipster mod for Saints Row. Theliato, that's probably the accurate. Yeah, it's the DIE version hipster mod for Saints Row. That's what they got smacked with. Disney's going to have to spin off, sell properties, cover its balance sheets in a few years. Well, they have a pretty extensive real estate portfolio. Although that thing's going to be ground into the ground relatively soon. If you guys have been paying attention to what's happening in housing and commercial stuff. Oh, by the way, if you're cash solvent at the end of all of this, real estate's probably going to be your friend. But again, I'm not giving you financial advice, just regular stuff that you might hear from others. Go seek professional financial help. Somehow, Harrison Ford returned. That's right. And this is actually a true statement from Leonard Barnes here. Games have to succeed, or they will take a company down. Yeah, if you have a couple of bad games, you're boned, honestly. Tipping Barn for $4.99. Thank you, my friend. Says Volition's fall hits harder for fans hoping for a Free Space sequel. That's true. We'll have to see what Embracer does now. I mean, they have to step back and evaluate, okay, do we want to manage IP and allow other people to develop it? Do we want to do it ourselves? Do we want to direct the actions of studios? I mean, there's a lot of things they're going to have to pay attention to. But I guess we'll see. I see a darkness for the MCU. That's right. Look at this. A lot of people love Condor Man. I know, it was like great, right? When we were kids. Chickens are delicious. That's right. Egg birds and meat birds are different. One of the things that like, if you want the combo bird, you would get obviously a leghorn. The problem with leghorns is they're mean as heck if you don't like hand raise them like and pay a lot of attention to them. Those are the birds that will like just attack. If you're not wearing boots, your feet get bruised. Anyway, sorry. 8 dogs is a sled team, so meetups are in Alaska. There you go. You guys are great. I am going to see Transformers. I'm of two minds when it comes to the CGI for the beasts. But I'm going to see it. I'm going to go in there with an open mind. It looks like it's a healthy split between the two directions the franchise took. Let's say that. I don't think they're ever going to sell Star Wars. Okay, so look at Star Wars on the balance sheet. Let's do that real quick. You're 4 billion plus into that, right? Into that franchise. You spend $1 billion in California and $1 billion in Florida building out your theme park expansion. Then you spend nearly $500 million, or some people were reporting $1 billion on the hotel itself, the Galactic Star Cruiser. So you're 7 billion in before you even decide to put frame one on, in this math equation we're building. So you put nearly $1 billion into 3 films, or maybe let's just call it, round it up to $1 billion, so some of these other numbers work. So now you're $8 billion into, probably more, into Star Wars. What has been your return on that? Well, you're not getting a whole lot of love for your theme park expansion. You're getting no love for that hotel, which died on the vine, so much so that they're going to partial service each week. So they're limiting, I think it's going to be 2 excursions or 1.5 excursion, depending upon the week, because it'll roll into the next week for that hotel thing, the Star Cruiser. There's so much here that's wrong. So you really didn't increase your revenue. In fact, you're making probably negative revenue on the Star Cruiser. You have not a huge appreciation for the sequel trilogy. So you're not selling merch, licensed merch. You have things that you're selling now, which are only related to Favreau's thing and the original trilogy, and maybe some prequel stuff. But for the most part, nothing hit. Nobody likes Rey. Nobody does. There might be a few elements of the current film generation that do. They're making no money on that. So you didn't get any additional revenue there. The films themselves, you could argue that, they made them a couple billion back. So what? You're still $6 billion in the hole on your balance sheet. You've diminished or completely reduced to zero the revenue that you get on the IP from merchandise. Disney screwed up bad. Is it worth what they bought it for? Don't know. Could they license it out and make money with it? Probably. Selling, I think that's off the table. Same thing with Marvel. Yeah. Yeah, they have huge tracts of land. Yeah, and it's beyond the 2 theme parks that we're talking about as well. Or the 2 theme park destinations. Universal's doing it the right way, putting something in Vegas, the permanent Hollywood Horror Nights idea, and that boutique park that they're putting in Texas, which will grow from a young person, a youth-oriented one, children, to something more extensive. They're going to realize what Disney saw a long time ago and just didn't follow through on is a massive opportunity, putting a theme park in the center of the country. And then Disney will be like, oh, crap. And it's going to be way more expensive for Disney to play catch up. Just dumb. Just terrible business decisions. Bob can't have been a good weatherman if he doesn't see this depression coming. Yeah, this is going to be a massive storm. Indeed. What coming movie am I most looking forward to? Right now, it's split between. What's coming? Okay, I can do it this way. I'm really excited because I'm going to get to see John Wick 4, and then I'm really excited because I'm going to get to see Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, and then eventually, I guess I'll get to see Dune later in the year. So I got stuff I'm looking forward to. Plus, I'm going to be doing reviews. I may do one on my phone. Yep. And if I'm not driving on the way back from the theater, I may start editing my thoughts on the phone in my review. So Tiki of Doom. I shouldn't be stockpiling Funko Pops. No. I mean, do what you want to do with your money, but can you eat that plastic? I don't know. Oh yeah, if you're a small company and your first game fails, you're toast. Hey, Grimm's here. What's up, Inferior? Tipping Barn for another $1.99 says Condor Man makes me think of those clamshell cases. Yeah. Yeah, that was such a great film. We were blessed. We had an embarrassment of riches starting in the 80s, don't you think? Funkos are going to be the currency of the wasteland. You mean like bottle caps? Oh, we're so screwed. Rod Thunderheart says, but remember when they bought the Power Rangers and ultimately the owner pocketed a few billion 10 years later? I know. They bought Power Rangers, ran it into the ground, sold it to the creator. Insane. $8 billion out, 5.5 billion in is extremely negative. Yeah, I still would say, and I'm to this day, I'm going to continue to say this. There's still 4 billion in the hole for Star Wars. 3.5, I'll give you that, Mike. Oh, well. Disney needs to make DVDs, Blu-rays, and guess what? Old Knucklehead Bob just said that that's what they were going to do. It was a mistake to abandon the previous formula that was financially beneficial to them. You know what else you shouldn't have done is abandon the American family. Should not have abandoned the West in favor of neo-Marxism. Because right now, Disney is essentially just a neo-Marxist company. Which is a shame. There's still things you can enjoy about it, I'm sure. And I do. But I will not give them a dollar beyond what I would do for just that entertainment. They'll never become part of my clothing again. Not until they turn it around. I'm not going to buy more Disney stuff. That relationship is broken. The two Utes. That's right. The Flash trailer showed a lot of Batman or Batman. Was it to lure us in, or are Batman a major factor? Batman are a contributing factor to that film, specifically Keaton. It was to lure you in, just like what they just did with, spoiler, folks, if you don't want to hear about Shazam 2. I'm going to count to 5, and then I'm going to hold my hand up. So if you hit mute, I will stop with the spoiler when I take my hand down. Okay? So I'm going to count to 5, put my hand up, and then I'm going to lower my hand if you don't want to hear the spoiler about Shazam 2. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spoiler time. All right. So if you haven't muted now, you don't care. Wonder Woman. They had to let you know, a huge spoiler, Wonder Woman in Shazam 2. All right, I'm putting my hand down now. Okay, you can unmute. So with that huge thing done, and I think a lot of you had already known that because a lot of people did videos on it yesterday, but it was something that they really should have kept in their pocket because it would have driven traffic over a longer period of time. Now this film will be front-loaded, and it will be disappointing. It was going to be disappointing anyway, but it's going to be very disappointing. And I still don't think I'm going to be able to buy Helen Mirren as bad guy. I could be wrong. Hey, what's going on there? The Peter Venkman fan side. 80s probably was the best decade, Jonah Hex. We were coming out of the doldrums. We got really out of the doldrums toward the end of the 80s. We suffered under the weight of some really bad leadership, similar to what we have now. Only right now it's far worse. But in the Carter administration, believe me, I know. I remember trying to climb out of that, and it took 8 years of somebody and a whole lot of other efforts in a lot of other areas and the expansion of our culture to make that happen. And something that we don't have at the moment, which is national pride. They are actively trying to get you to hate your own country, folks. Yeah. You want to be successful? Love your country. Bring everybody together under that. Don't forget the beautiful Olympic Games that were hosted. There were a lot of amazing events. And Cynthia Carter says, we may not get a lot of good stuff, but at least there's some decent stuff here and there. If Mario's up with The Last Wish in terms of quality, we will take our kids. Disney is dead to us. I'm going to tell you, Cynthia, you should be thrilled with Mario from the clips that I've seen, beyond what's out there in trailer form. I'm very much looking forward to going to that film. I will see that as soon as I possibly can. If I get a screening invite, I'll go to that. And then I will let you know what I think right away. So. Look at you guys. Dang it, Cece. Stop spoiling stuff. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Sean. Spoiler alert, it's gonna fail. Yeah. I feel bad. The problem with collecting is people assigning values where there is none, and people getting upset because more of something is accessible to other people, kind of like items in online games. I agree with you. Which is why I hate the monetization schemes that are used nowadays, skins and crap like that. I mean, they're harmless as long as they don't change gameplay. So I'm gonna give Fortnite and others a break on that. I mean, you want to look like this character or whatever. Okay, I get it, but microtransactions are the devil for video games, and they don't know that. It's actually contributed to a loss in gamers, which is weird. Aaron Ratliff. Don't forget all the great drugs that were around in the 80s. Woo. Let's see. Shazam 2. It's not my thing. Yes, Maestro, I hear that. No amount of Batman member berries could get me to go see Flash movie and support the vile Ezra Miller. Well, double back again. There are a lot of people that share that sentiment. And there are a lot of people that aren't going to go see Aquaman 2. I would imagine Aquaman 2 is going to be not seen by many. I think that thing's going to suffer from the weight of Amber Turd. So. Disney's dead to me and has been for some time. The last really good Disney film Disney made that I went to a theater to see was Coco. I love the movie. So good. The music was amazing. Well, I'm look into the background of Victoria Alonso and Coco. Or was it the other film, the Colombian singing animals one? Anyway, she had a lot to do with stuff like that. Yeah, if they do a good job telling a story, spoilers don't matter. And that's what I tell people. Don't get all upset. Yeah. It's not productive. I'm still kind of interested. I'm still kind of interested in Aquaman 2. But recent news and Amber's presence gives me pause. It gives me pause too. Let's see. Oh boy, let's see. I don't know if it was, again, I could be misremembering if she was deeply involved in Coco. But I, for whatever reason, whenever I think about Coco, I think about her. There must be a reason for it. There must be. Must be. Anyway. Yeah, I don't remember which. I want to say it was Coco. Yeah, I did. I had a loading screen in my brain. That's the problem when you get when you have all that information and trying to recall. Where is that? Rolodex is not working. Speaking of spoilers, did you hear about Disney shutting down the Marvel spoilers? Right. You know what? We talked about that a little bit earlier, Cat Sith. They're going to try to blame the spoilers for the film. The film was crap. It wouldn't have mattered. You were going to get no support for that. We already saw where it was going, the messaging, bad dad trope, et cetera, et cetera. The darker version of the film might have been more satisfying, and you may have earned a few more million because of it, but that story was long gone. There was supposed to be an extended conflict between Scott and his daughter, Cassie, during that film that was removed. They replaced it with a lot of filler junk. The revelation of Kang, which we already knew was supposed to be the big bad, was a problem. That never should have been exposed. There were 100 reasons why that thing flopped. You think of Victoria Alonso? Are you El Niño Son Amor? Namor? There you go. Didn't Ant-Man have a strong weekend then drop like the Chitauri at the end of Avengers? Yes. Yes. Ant-Man was the worst fall of any Marvel film. They like to when something's terrible, like catastrophically bad, they try to then add decimal points in front of percentages. 67.1%, 69.3%, whatever, right? Because the last thing they want you to do is round to 70%. But that film had a freaking terrible collapse. Terrible. Terrible. Tim's right. You told people what we were doing. We're suing you. Okay, well then you should start with so, because she does that all the time, and so does would you look at the size of Tobey Maguire's, that guy too, right? Culture, did you catch my remark earlier? John Wick is the story of Ted Theodore Logan going to miss. I think that'd be amazing. I'm Ted. Whoa. That'd be great. I'm really excited for John Wick. I really am. Sentinel says the only way Disney in both Star Wars and MCU is because we keep them relevant by talking about them. We are in a parasitic relationship with them at the moment. We need to move on. I'm moving on. Outside of covering their colossal failure, Pretty easy to do. Like I said, I can talk about the things I'm genned up for. I'm genned up for John Wick, Super Mario Brothers, Dune, at the end of the year. Not a lot else. I'm not even genned up for DC now. James Gunn has destroyed my interest in that. And I don't think that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to make $1 billion. I think it's going to fall far short. I'm still saying about 850. So, holy cow, I went really long today. I got to get going. Avengers was great. The first Avengers film was good. Yeah, there's a lot of Drek. I'm glad you're looking forward to this Sentinel. I think you're going to enjoy the Wick film. MCU's definitely on its deathbed. They just don't know it yet. All right. I got to get running. You guys, I had such a great time. Love doing these extended versions of things. We didn't even talk about the stuff I thought we'd talk about. We just had a nice conversation in the chat. And sometimes that's better than anything else. I'm going to be, like I said, putting some more effort into some videos that I've got coming up. And hopefully we'll get that out to you soon. We can talk about how there are some very dim prospects ahead for VCs after the situation with SVB. And if you get a chance, check out the end of Comics Division stream on YouTube last night to talk about the Inverse Kramer ETF fund you can get involved in, because it's pretty funny. You can find the story on the New York Post if you're looking for it. I'm going to end the same way I always do. I'm going to run the credits, and be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it is good hygiene. It truly is. And until next time, bye. Once again, thanks to all these amazing people. They're incredible. And I've got more to add to this list. I know. I can't keep up. We got all these gifted memberships. I'm not complaining. Thank you, Eric K. and Union of Amateur Strategists, and Captain Phantom Nerd, and Jillian, and Kate J, and all the people who gift memberships over here. You guys are amazing. If you're not a member, consider becoming one. There are membership prices starting in 3 different tiers. Pick one that you think fits you. It is a regular, stable way to support the channel rather than super chats. Of course, I'm not going to turn down super chats. If you have something that you want noticed in a big way, super chats are one way to do that. Coming up later, we have the Tuesday Tirade Entertainment Talk Show with myself and Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge. And there is also Mr. H coming up right after that. With that being said, have a terrific Tuesday, everybody, and see ya!